What's going on, everybody? Yesterday, I was watching a video that the digital asset investor put out, and he was talking about a lot of stuff. You should definitely be following him on YouTube for sure, and Twitter if you're on here. But he was just talking, at one point in the video, he touched briefly on how he had a list of people that had seemingly vanished off of social media, that a lot of people in the community kind of felt like they might be some sort of insiders and stuff. So one of the people he talked about was this account, this girl Kendra Hill, and we're gonna get into that. And yeah, I love a good trip down the rabbit hole. And in the words of digital asset investors, strap in, folks, because we're going on a ride here. This is interesting, so just try to stick with me. So anyway, leading me to Kendra Hill led me to the XRP Riddler archives. Has a YouTube channel and a couple other things online. That's what I'm using for my resources, so shout out to them as well. So going back to July of 2018 is the first instance of me really seeing anybody talk about her. And, she's on here talking about how she would like a decentralized internet, basically. Brave browser seems overrated. Internet of rewards is coming. It's a lot of interesting things. And I'm going to kind of blast through this. So here she's introducing herself. She talks about how she been a crypto investor since 2016. She got Ripple or XRP before she even knew what crypto was. Her dad and grandfather gave her a ton of it. She goes on to say she was annoyed because she was hoping for something else and had no interest in digital currencies. They told me not to even think about selling it until 2020 because its value would be far greater at that point. Little did she know it was the greatest gift she would ever receive. And she claims to come from this family of investment bankers, working on some personal projects, needs to hire a team, all this stuff. Basically, blockchain makes her vision possible. And she wants to design a platform which will eventually be used to push my agenda and no one will be able to silence it. When the platform is ready, she will give away the initial supply of tokens to content creators. And it's a beauty-related platform, yada, yada, yada. So, and then she says she has an ultimate goal of creating a smart city which is separate from the outside world. There would be zero tolerance for negativity and kindness would be rewarded. So, I have this in kind of like a chronological order. The dates aren't on here. All this stuff has been deleted. So, this is all archived by people who had screenshotted it. There's a whole Kendra Hill theory. So, you guys can look into this. And I'm doing it this way. So, even though I'm skimming because I don't want this video to be an hour long, you guys can still read these pages. Just pause the video. Goes on to tell pretty much the same story. Given more than $1 million from her father and her grandfather, and each token was worth less than a penny, so the total value of the account was under 10 grand. And then she goes on to say that they didn't give her the possession of the tokens. They held on to them. Her spending habits were awful, and the reason why the XRP was not given them right away was so they would make sure that they would accrue value or increase in value. My grandfather changed the way she saw the world. She became a motivated minimalist, which would rather generate money than spend it. After being lectured on the value of XRP, started buying more. She's using cryptocurrency wallets to store it. It's taken great care. It's sealed, protected, yada, yada. It starts to talk about this other crypto Stratus, and some of the stuff that it's got going on. Elastos is the operating system of the future, she said. And, I looked into some of these coins. This stuff that she talks about isn't as big of an interest to me. She did say she will be focusing on XRP more than anything else. Well, and ELA. I'm currently working on a project of my own for 2019-2020. Goes back into impacting the beauty industry. And then it says, before the digital age, using one world currency was not possible. Now that we are able to connect with people around the globe in seconds, one currency would be ideal. With that thought in mind, think about the cryptocurrency market. So many to choose from, yet only one is needed. Goes on to say cryptocurrency will be made illegal. This is not a maybe, this is a warning. Nothing is left up to chance. Our world is always planned years in advance, which I do believe. If you fail to plan, you are planning to fail, and failure is not an option. Allowing additional currencies to exist when the world is only using one would be disruptive, so it will not be tolerated, and it will be easier to stop than you think. The illusion is that Bitcoin, for example, is untouchable, and the reality is that the government controlled through the use of government controlled through the use of mining pools. And we talk about how China has like 65% of that, so it kind of plays into that narrative a little bit, I guess. Any cryptocurrency aiming to be decentralized digital currency will not survive. The one that will has already been chosen. I don't know if I 100% agree with the beginning part of that, but the end part of that is interesting. One world currency is already here. Not only is it here, you may already be in possession of it. Now, this is going to go somewhere different than you guys think, so just hang with me here. The currency of the future is currently ranked in the top 10. Now, the question is, which one is it? I will answer in my next blog. There's information I wish to release regarding the people and organizations involved. People may not believe what I say today, and I do not expect anyone to. When the time comes and the truths are revealed, not the truth, the truths are revealed, you will realize that I am someone you should listen to. This is why I am starting my blog in the way that I am. And this is just me kind of picking up on some energy. The way that this is worded, you will realize I am someone you should listen to. You're going to see that part of the personality, in my opinion, starts to come out a little more as it goes on. There's definitely two sides to whoever this person is. Step into the light. Introducing the one currency which will replace all fiat currencies, the Lumens. So she's referring to Stellar. It can be transferred in seconds for less than a value of a penny, and the supply is capable of scaling to meet the needs of the growing world population. The lumen can be defined as the luminous flux of light produced by a light source. Lucifer is the bearer of light, the morning star. Soon we will be sending lumens using Li-Fi, which is light used to transmit data. Welcome to the age of Lucifer. So I am not a religious person. I love conspiracy theories, and I'm not weighing in too heavily in any direction on this stuff. But the Li-Fi thing is interesting because I know they had there are some technologies that have been developed over the years where they can transmit data in a similar fashion to that. So I just thought this was interesting. Chance is an illusion. It may appear that there are multiple cryptocurrencies battling to claim the top spot. The reality is that only one currency is needed, and that one has already been released. The Lumen will scale to the masses using the Lightning Network. All the world's transactions will be processed in seconds. Jed McCaleb is the co-founder of Stellar Lumens. He is connected to an organization called Lucis Trust. Lucis means light, which has a project called World Goodwill, the United Nations Sustainable Development Plan, that promotes the teaching of its founder, Alice Bailey. Lucis Trust, formerly Lucifer Publishing Company, is the organization behind the One World Religion. By 2030, we will have one single religion. Chance does not exist. You must be chosen. It goes on to say that the trust was established almost 100 years ago. The person died about 70 years ago. She is special to this world, and 2018 is a special year for our world. 96 reverses 69, symbolizing as above, so below. It's pretty interesting. Numbers are very important in our world. I definitely agree there. Even words have numerical values, and we're going to get into that before this video is over. The English language is coded to mimic a language used over 10,000 years ago. There is nothing new under the sun. Forgive me, Lord, for I am rebellious. So you can see it's like this dramatic buildup of I have some information I want to share. Is it real? I don't know if this is real or not, people. So just stick with me, though. Cross-border payments is a lie. If you were to do research on Ripple and XRP, you would come to the conclusion that the goal is to replace SWIFT as the world's leading cross-border payment provider. That's a halfway true. What if I was to say Ripple does not care about cross-border payments and that replacing SWIFT is the short-term plan? In the digital age, you are able to connect with anyone around the world in seconds. For this reason, using one digital currency would be ideal. Not only is one currency all that is needed, it would be more efficient if we were all to use one single currency. So what would happen to a cross-border payment provider when the world is using a digital currency that can be sent from wallet to wallet? The cross-border payment provider is no longer needed. I assume this is all very simple to understand, yes? The purpose of this blog post is to help you understand. If Ripple were only focused on cross-border payments and nothing else, their success would be short-lived. They knew this before XRP ever existed. And I do believe all these are all long games. Even Elon and all those guys, and we'll get into some of that too, but think of cross-border payments as a nice testing ground to prepare Ripple for the use case they have been focused on since the very beginning. The true intentions of Ripple is to handle 100% of the transactions that take place in the derivatives market. So why do they not make this public knowledge? For multiple reasons. The most important one being that they are not ready. They are missing a piece of the puzzle, and that is called Codius. And if anybody knows anything about Ripple, Codius is a big deal. We're not even just about Ripple in crypto. I think Codius is a pretty well-known thing, and it is being developed. I actually got lucky on Unstoppable Domains and was able to purchase Codius.x last night. I'm pretty stoked about it. Codius is the most advanced smart contract platform that will ever exist. The project was said to be put on hold in 2015. That was a lie. It was never put on hold. So, you continue to go through here, and it continues to talk about Codius. Codius will be a smart contract with integrated payment processing and a variety of privacy options. One more time. Says it again. Payment processing integration. No other platform can compare. No other platform will have a direct connection to the world banking system either. XRP and Codius are going to be used to manage the entire $1 quadrillion plus derivative market. XRP is not a currency. It is a store of value like digital gold. I have a notebook with Ripple's entire agenda. I find that interesting too. Like, why do you have a notebook? Who knows? If you happen to care, I also know the currency of the future will be called, and it just goes into that whole thing again. It gets kind of repetitive. That doesn't necessarily mean anything, but nope. So here's where she talked about how Codius being put, to rest. You can see right here, this is April 30th. This is Stephen Thomas. Done a lot of work at Ripple. This is where I believe where Vitalik Buterin slept on his couch for a while when he was doing a brief little thing over at Ripple before he went on to create Ethereum. So I just wanted to throw that out there because that is definitely real. As I said, Ripple is lying to you, and it goes into all the same stuff. They know that the average investor is not capable of critical thinking, so they will hide the truth to keep the price low. Ripple and Stellar are a team. With the Lumen cross-border payments are not needed. XRP will one day be worth more than 1 gold ounce, and that is only a 5-year price prediction. Time tells all. I don't want to get crazy and say too much, so I will let time reveal everything. If you choose not to hold any XRP, that will be your regret. And he keeps going on, here he talks about Jeb McCaleb, who co-founded Ripple and Stellar and Mt. Gox. Has family ties connecting him to the Federal Reserve and the United Nations. I do believe that is true as well. In 2014, he left Ripple to create Stellar, giving the illusion that the two organizations were separate entities. They split. There was some sort of fight. Just couldn't work together. That's kind of how the narrative went. Ripple and Stellar are like brother and sister, each providing something of value to the new world financial system. And the Stellar network and all that stuff, it is a fork of the XRP ledger. So keep that in mind. They are like brother and sister. With the use of XRP, it will be for a short period of time. They will be a cross-border payment provider. The world will not need cross-border payment provider once the Lumen is being used. XRP will become the store of value. The Lumen will become the world currency. Lumen is digital silver. XRP is digital gold. The purpose for XRP is for the derivative markets while also acting as a store of value. It is not and was never intended to be a currency, nor was it created to be used specifically for cross-border payments. When Codius is released, we will see its true purpose unveiled. Ripple and Stellar are the keys to the new world financial system, which will be ushered in when the old system collapses. Perfect timing. Within the next 9 years, we will see it surpass the price of gold. We already went through that. Here's some more interesting stuff. The media is a tool that is used to control the lower class, and she goes on to talk about how Slim Fast is a popular weight loss thing, even though it doesn't really help. And her point is that most people are unable to think for themselves, and they allow the media to tell them what to think. Same with investments. Manipulation tactics have been and will continue to be used with XRP, and I would say any asset at large. I mean, it happens. I don't care what anybody says. I am able to destroy all arguments that are anti-XRP because I know the truth, and I possess more knowledge than you recording it. A full notebook, to be exact. My grandfather gave it to me that I would understand because I wanted to sell the XRP. You see, there's that different energy coming out again. I don't know what it is. Every time I read when this person goes on this whole, I have more knowledge than you, it's very braggadocious to me. And I don't know what that's telling of, but I'm just noticing it, so I'm pointing it out. The media will use trickery to convince you XRP is not worth investing in long term. Use your brain, not emotions. Talk to her if she'll explain everything. Soon enough, I'll be able to send people a blog post to answer their questions. 5 years from now, the upper class will possess almost all of it. It's not meant for the lower class. It talks about XRP, the fungible asset, or the decentralized fungible asset. Unlike Bitcoin, it doesn't have mining pools which control the hash power, which it's far more decentralized. No group will ever be able to take control of the network because there are too many powerful entities supporting it. And what does it mean to be fungible? It means that every XRP token that exists today will always hold value no matter what takes place. Even if all the governments of the world wanted to take your XRP, the only way they would be able to touch it is through your own personal account. No one can touch or blacklist your XRP. You will always be able to send it freely. I don't know about that either. I mean, I don't know. I don't want to speak on it because I don't know, but that seems like that might not be accurate. There's a myth that a feature exists allowing for XRP to be frozen if Ripple or the government wanted to. That's purely myth. The reason it exists is because a freeze feature does exist and has been used. It's a scare tactic, nothing more. It does not freeze the tokens. It only freezes IOUs or issuances, which are created when someone is converting into fiat as part of the cross-border payment system. The XRP token itself is unable to be touched. So let's keep cranking through this. We go here to talk about XRP to the moon. She's talking about $100 is nothing compared to what is to come for long-term investors. It's going on and on. Suggest holding at least 2,000 tokens to become a millionaire. Even talks about how when the price reaches 10, most people will sell. Partnership in the making. In a deal which was negotiated in 2015, Amazon holds stake in 5 billion XRP. I have not been able to verify that, so I don't know. But so it says, why has this been kept secret? Let me first respond to this by asking you a question. Why does the price of XRP not move when new partnerships are announced? The answer to my question is that XRP has no use case currently. That will soon change, and when it does, the price will rise quickly. They are very selective when announcing new partnerships publicly. So to answer your question, is it in the best interest of everyone involved to keep the price as low as possible, allowing major investors to buy in early while also pushing away investors from the lower class? When the Amazon partnership is announced, the world will be talking about XRP. Millions of people will buy XRP on that day, so this partnership is being saved for a later date. I also think that's partially what's going on with the escrow, is to prevent it from all being gobbled up. Never look at Ripple for what it is today. Always assume that there are multiple steps ahead at any given time. These are very intelligent people coordinating our world, and nothing is made public before it is meant to. Well, you have me releasing information that is in my possession, however. No one will be listening to me at this point in time. In the future, my blog posts will be discovered, then you will listen to what I have to say next. What's interesting about that is it kind of almost speaks to me. It's funny. Why would Amazon care to partner with Ripple in 2015? Ripple, XRP, and Codius provide a level of value that cannot be matched by anyone. Ripple is not Ripple by chance. It was all planned. Forget about Amazon for a moment. Ripple has ties to the Federal Reserve and beyond. When XRP is combined with Codius, you have the ultimate payment processing solution integrated into smart contracts, which offer a variety of privacy options. A company such as Amazon could not find a more perfect match. Amazon is also very similar to Ripple as it has ties to powerful entities. That's the same thing there. Ripple is not the only company which is going to change the world. Amazon will as well. We already know that. The music is about to begin. Let's count down together. She went through and made some, some interesting predictions. Some of these seem to be pretty off on a lot of them. I'm not even going to read some of these. I'm just leaving them on the screen real quick. You guys can pause and, hear some people kind of giving her some grief about it, asking some questions. Here, an economic collapse is upon us right now. Thankfully, this is 2018 and not 1918. We were able to prevent such a tragedy. Any collapse that occurs will not last more than 2 to 3 days because the banks will then implement an emergency service to prevent chaos. There are plans ready in the case of such an emergency, although there is no end-all be-all strategy in place. XRP and Bitcoin will play major roles in what's to come. 2019 is year one of this new paradigm. So it's all pretty interesting. It talks about IOTA. IOTA was chosen to be core tech of 5G, which for smart cities, billions will die. Build your wealth over the next few years and start building homes made of stone for you, your family, and some friends. Learn to grow food. No currency that exists today will matter by 2027. Microwave cities will do their job. I'm not a part of the 5G conspiracy thing, but it's still interesting, and I'm going to cover what she talked about because all of this is interesting. It got really dark here towards the end before she went silent. Not every path is easy. Not every step is one of joy. When you know you're on the right path, keep walking forward and accept that there might be hills along the way. Sometimes battles are sometimes fought on the top of these hills. Be mindful of that. If your path is one of great importance, be prepared to do battle. Be willing to die on that hill. And I'm not going to read this whole thing. The first half of this next decade will decide the fate of humanity. There is a hill to walk over, and the only way over it is to go undetected. Anyone seen walking over the hill will not survive. On the other side of this hill is a world that is truly decentralized, a world of equal opportunity, a world that holds all people in it accountable for their actions and enforces only the strong will survive as the supreme law. A new world power structure awaits, one that is immune to abuse and dedicated to making decisions that we will all benefit from. When the time is right, the first step will be taken. In an ironic twist, the very cryptocurrency that was designed to support the global power structure will be the currency that funds its destruction. Decentralization, equal opportunity, fairness, incentives, compassion, competency, and high standards are the ingredients needed to create a utopia. Talks about there being a new world government by 2025, how it's easier to free the mind than to enslave it, power structures that require a great amount of time and secrecy to make it this far, and still they have not been able to capture full control over humanity. It talks about people having a false sense of accomplishment and all this stuff. Within a handful of years, we will have before us a new government with global constitution that will bring forth the decentralization of our world. No small group will ever again possess great power. All who oppose will be deemed enemies of humanity. It is interesting. I mean, you look at the climate shift. I mean, even getting away from meat, which I'm okay with. I'm not weighing in on that either way, but all this stuff that is happening in the cancel culture, even, it's everybody's got to be on board or it's a problem, and I'm not weighing in on my opinion. I'm just stating, the overall narrative here. People from around the world will unite as one. Communication barriers will no longer divide us. There will be equal opportunity for everyone after the global reset is performed. I think that sounds great. So after I had read all this stuff, it just sent me down this rabbit hole for the rest of my day. And I found this on TradingView, and I thought that this was really, really interesting. If you go on here we go. Disclaimer, you respond, or wait, what does it say up here? Yes, read with an open mind, please. I think that's important. So that's what we're all going to do, okay? You're responsible for your own trading and investments. I am not a professional. I'm a hobby trader. No experience. Began trading in February of 2019, and it says this was February of 2020. So he was a year in. This will be way out left field for most of you, but in my opinion, no matter what you're learning about, it's worth taking into account every train of thought when gathering a collective opinion about the topic at hand. I think that's a great point. In the movie World War Z, a scientist said that a 10th man policy had been put in place due to historic events. In short, the 10th man theory is that when 9 people agree that something is impossible, the 10th man must assume that it is and must plan accordingly. I believe in trying my best to be the 10th man when it comes to trading. The whole market has been expecting XRP to go to the moon. I have taken it upon myself to believe that it was not going to the moon, at least not yet. So far, I have correctly predicted the recent top. I'm not tooting my own horn or bragging, kind of are. The reason I bring this up is the date of February 29th, a leap year date, and the recent Simpsons TV ad about crypto that I am sure you're already aware of. And that's worth watching too. I'm not going to get into all that, but in a recent video made by Crypto Mike, he brought up the topic I had heard of in the past called Gematria. This is where things get interesting, guys. Simply put, the decoding of words using numbers. Remember, Kendra Hill talked about how there was numeric value to words. And these are used to create or decipher a secret code. I believe he was on to something. A conspiracy that you, the 9 of 10, know is ridiculous. You know that it could never be real. You know that for the global elites to encode a secret message in a TV commercial put out by The Simpsons is not a thing. Yesterday, I decided yet again to be the 10th man, to assume that he was on to something and that I needed to treat the topic as if it was truth and that the message in The Simpsons commercial should be deciphered as such. I am paraphrasing a little bit. If it throws you guys off, I'm just trying to hurry. If you have not seen the commercial, watch it and come back to this. Gematria uses letters to create numbers and form a total number out of those words which will match other words. There are many emphasized words in the new commercial that are repeated and form way too many coincidences to be ignored. To save time, I will not explain or put out every single word used, but will instead give you a broad overview of the keywords that you should not ignore. Here is the website that was used to decode the words in the commercial. They have not been modified in any way. To clarify for those who do not know yet, the Phoenix is the term used by the elite since The Economist magazine in 1988 to describe a one-world currency. The Nicera is, for all intents and purposes, the plan to implement the Phoenix. And if you guys haven't seen that, it's got the stellar Lumens symbol right on the front of it. I mean, look that up, guys. That's not a fake thing. I should have pulled it up. I'm not going to now because I don't have it ready, but the first line is from the commercial. The following words match the Gematria coding exactly. So The Simpsons, you get Nicera, Leap Year, Skull and Bones, XRP Boom, Egypt, Rothschild Blood, Flotus Melania. We're just going to go through these. Jim Parsons, Air Condition. You guys can read the list of the stuff that they're saying the Gematria code can turn this into. And I find it really interesting. So, I read this through this guy. It says coronavirus, China, the Phoenix, Starlink is what XLM tuned, pump. I mean, these are pretty intense words to just be coming from this type of code or whatever, in my opinion. In conclusion, as a 10th man, I must assume that all of these are the end game of the elite. XRP will be the primary focus of their efforts. I am not a moon boy, but something is happening at the end of the month. They release a secret coded message to the masses focusing on XRP as the stock market crash starts, with far too many coincidences to be ignored when it comes to traditional codex method of communication that the elites are known to use. Take everything I say with a grain of salt, but I truly believe XRP is our future according to the global elites. Talks about what he thinks the actual plan is, and then he comes into here. This is where it gets even more interesting. RFID chip implants will be mandatory to participate in commerce. That goes to the whole revelation, can't go to the market without the mark of the beast, whether it's on the hand or the forehead. I'm not religious, but it's I'm at least semi-educated on these things. And then it says as the old financial systems will become worthless. Starlink will make global internet access free. They got nodes on the satellites, people. We already know this, and will reach to even the most desolate places on Earth. 5G will enable wireless powering and monitoring of the RFID chips that would be implanted. We're going to get into that too. Just stay with me. The financial system is about to collapse, and they're going to use Ripple gold-backed digital currency as the savior. The coronavirus will be the cause of the financial collapse. Global trade and commerce will grind to a halt. Markets will tank. Cash will be burned or handed in. It is the perfect storm. And that's a big thing too. They talk about the storm all the time. Did they say that up here? I don't know. I'm not going to go through it. Anyway, to bring in a gold-backed digital currency. And that's why they call it the Great Reset. I mean, people think that, and he says here, don't sell your XRP for worthless monopoly money. The elites will be buying it up with their own worthless monopoly money, waiting for it to be backed by gold. And talking about it being the perfect storm to bring it in, I mean, that does kind of lean in and play into the whole Great Reset narrative. I mean, that's kind of what the main prediction is here. So anyway, he talked about the leap year thing and some of these other things. So I typed in leap year conspiracy and stumbled upon this phantom time hypothesis where it talks about, in order to legitimize Otto's claim to the Holy Roman Empire, they basically forged the what's it called? They talk about it in here. Yeah, the Anno Domini to basically lock them in at the year 1000, and they go on to talk where there was a phantom time zone of 297 years that were kind of added to the Middle Ages, which they go in to talk about how historians don't support it or back it really at all. And what's interesting about it though is I know in those ages communication was so crazy that if you were one of those guys, you could have very easily pulled something off like that if you were able to somehow get word to some other guys. And then here's the Nicera thing, which was the National Economic Security and Recovery Act. They mentioned that with The Simpsons. It was a set of proposed economic reforms to the United States suggested during the 90s by Harvey Francis Bernard. He claimed that his proposals, which included income tax with a national sales tax, abolishing compound interest on secured loans, and returning to a bimetallic currency, would result in zero inflation and a more stable economy. It was never introduced to Congress. It has become better known as the subject of a cult-like conspiracy theory promoted by somebody, Candace Goodwin, known as the Dove of Oneness, who claimed the act was actually passed with additional provisions as the National Economic Security Reformation Act and then suppressed by the George Bush administration and the Supreme Court. Goodwin's conspiracy emails have been translated into several languages and have a large following online. That's something I want to look more into. I haven't yet, but I did see where like some of the people that leaked some stuff were directly tied to her, and it seemed a little weird. But you know, the code said it. They're talking about it in all these crypto circles, so it's something to keep an eye on. And then Gematria is a Kabbalistic method of interpreting the Hebrew scriptures by computing the numerical value of words based on those of their constituent letters. So in Hebrew, Gematria is often used as an alternative to Arabic numerals when recording numbers. Hebrew dates are generally written using Gematria. In addition to use it as a number system, it can be used as a form of bibliomancy in order to obtain a more spiritual understanding of the biblical text. So it talks about it's an alphanumeric code of assigning numerical value to a name, word, or phrase based on its letters. A single word can yield multiple values depending upon how the cipher is used. It is a Hebrew alphanumeric code or cipher that was probably used in biblical times and later adopted by other cultures. So I'm not going to dive too far into that, but this is what they're talking about with the coding thing, how they're getting these weird words. There's Elon's tweets get thrown into the Gematria calculators all the time, and a lot of them say crazy stuff when it comes back out. They just talk right here. Similar systems have been used. I'm not even going to get into this, but just look into it. It's definitely interesting, and I'm going to probably do a little video on it just because I got so excited by all this that it blew my mind. So now we're going to take everything back to where we were, to where we started, and Codius got brought up, right? And just listen to some of this stuff real quick.
At Ripple, it's a smart contract platform that isn't tied to any particular blockchain. It's a completely neutral smart contract platform. And one unique property it has is that it can keep a secret. And that's extremely important because a smart contract that can keep a secret can interact with the Bitcoin blockchain. It can sign transactions. It can interact with the Ethereum. It can interact with the XRP ledger. It can interact with even conventional banking systems. It can interact with web pages, things that Ethereum smart contracts can't do. Absolutely, we've been engaged with regulators for some time. If you talk to people in this space, they'll tell you like the biggest obstacle to adoption or the biggest obstacle to business development is regulatory uncertainty. And there's only two ways to fix that: engage with regulators or engage with courts. And I think we would all agree, I hope, that the regulator option. So you cannot put
that aged well.
Your head in the sand on this. If the biggest drag on adoption is regulatory uncertainty, then the only way to fix it, other than risking going to jail, is to talk to regulators. And so we put Zoe Cruz on the board, Ben Losky. We engage with regulators all the time. We travel around the world.
Rosie Rios.
We educate them.
Full disclosure, I have not seen the second part of the video, so I'm just going to let it play for my own benefit.
the opportunity to put its own dent in the universe.
On behalf of the flight crew, thank you for flying with us, and have a pleasant day.
Alright, so that was fun. Then we go on here, and, this was really interesting. Goes on to talk about, they brought up the derivatives market, how that was the real plan all along. Well, listen to this. This is Susan Athey. She's on the board of directors. I mean, you can read, but I'm just saying, look her up. She's a big lady.
So like the Codius platform would allow you to write a program, and it'll make it easy for people to verify the program works, that would say, if these 5 things happen, then this person gets paid. If these other 3 things happen, this other person gets paid. So we could just, for example, you could think about some sort of complex financial derivative. We could take as an input the Bloomberg feed of stock prices, and we could make very complex bets about, well, if this stock goes up and this stock goes down and this other thing happens and the National Weather Service says it's sunny today, then this person gets paid. And if these other things happen, someone else gets paid. So that's going to really reduce the barriers to entry for creating financial derivative products, and it's going to allow more people to hedge more complicated situations where there's not enough people right now to make the market worthwhile to create the asset and have it verified.
Moving on. So, Ripple compatible chip developed, sponsored by U.S. Navy, Solari Inc. president. So this was an interesting thing. There was a thing on Twitter where they were talking about, well, here, let's just see. We'll just go to it. I'll let you listen. Here you go. Oh, 1 second. Here.
Design and the well, if you look at the planning and the design and the competition, it's fluid right now. There's competition over what the design will be. It was very interesting. I won't bore you with all the details, but I had an incredible experience in Denmark a year ago, and I was trying to figure out what's going on in Denmark. They had one of the tech firms in Denmark was being paid by the U.S. Navy to come up with a chip that could be implanted in the human body that would integrate with Ripple. Yeah. So Ripple is a crypto, and it's one that's gotten a lot of promotion from the American establishment, in my experience, just my impression. So why is the U.S. Navy paying a Danish tech company to come up with an implantable chip that will integrate with Ripple? Exactly. Well, if you look at the planning.
So then there was that. As you can see, there was an article below that brought up this company. So I clicked on that, went to their Twitter. They are based in Denmark. They had, here's like a little TikTok that's on.
I got chipped today, and it freaking hurt. Oh my gosh, my hand's a key. Are you kidding me? Amber, look, my hand's a key.
That person wanted nothing to do with that. So I looked into their website. This is it. I mean, not a whole lot of information. It looks like this is the actual company. I didn't dive too much into this. It just didn't seem like there was a whole lot of information on the surface, but you click their human microchip tab, and it brings you right back here. So it's pretty vague. But, that plays into the whole, they talked about the chip. You won't be able to participate in the economy and all this. These things are going on. So are they just tying them together and it's convenient, or is there really a narrative that we should be paying more attention to? I don't know. I'm just totally speculating in in multiple directions, I guess. But then this is back from 2019. Amazon's new partnership with Ripple will expand merchant opportunities. Amazon Pay is very popular and widely used online payment. From now on, all WorldPay retailers will be able to use Amazon Pay service to further improve the customer's online checkout process. This step brings big advantages to traders, as Amazon Pay will make it easier to interact with buyers. The new partnership with WorldPay has caught the attention of many Ripple fans. The XRP Army expects Amazon to move one step closer to implementing XRP or one of its systems. Indeed, WorldPay was recently acquired by the U.S. fintech company Fidelity National Information Services. FIS is also a partner of Ripple Labs and has already worked with Ripple prior to the acquisition of WorldPay. Since WorldPay is now working with Amazon Pay, it could be an indirect move from Amazon towards Ripple. But that's not the first indirect sign that Ripple's getting close to Amazon. Earlier, it became known that Amazon cooperates with Axis. Axis is an Indian bank that is a participant of Ripple's network. So, there's stuff going on. Ripple client dLoco expands partnership with Amazon. This is recent. This is a couple days ago. Then even after that, Ripple CTO David Schwartz says that federal sidechains can serve as an alternative to Hyperledger. Let's see if I don't know if there's a little video clip or not on here. Does he have one? He does not. But he goes on to say, Amazon could definitely. They certainly have the infrastructure to make this happen. What we need to do is create a software that's clean and organized enough. Then I think it could be very competitive. The architect of the XRP ledger says that he would like to get the point where it's very, very easy to build on top of the platform. Earlier this month, Schwartz proposed adding federal sidechains to implement smart contracts without affecting the security of the XRP ledger. He predicts that decentralized finance is going to be their biggest use case. So there's a lot of use case coming to it. Just like they all said leading up to all this, once the use cases become available, it's going to happen very fast. Again, I'm not weighing in on this either way. I just found it interesting. I spent the whole day looking into some of this stuff, and it blew my mind. And then at the very end of it, I got excited and I decided to look up some of the profiles that Digital Asset Investor was talking about. So I looked up Kendra Hill's Twitter page, and what happened to me blew my mind. It blew my mind. I went on here, and you can see what I said. I am knee deep in a deep dive that has your name all over it. I click follow, then the notification bell, then boom. She's back, mind blown. DAI, thanks for kicking my day off in a big way. Wow. So what's so crazy about this? Rise like a phoenix, right? It's early in the morning, whatever. Now she had posted this before I watched the video, and I added her and hit the notification bell out probably 12 hours later, and then I still got a notification to this post, which really tripped me out. But what's interesting about it, if you noticed before, there's nothing. Just like all of our other accounts, nothing. So the fact that I was doing all this research, reading about all this, I don't know if this maybe spurred his video because he saw this. I really don't know, but it just blew my mind to go through and read all that and basically go through everything I just showed you in the video. And then after I had read all those articles and decided to make a video, then I went and added her profile, and then this pops up. So that's going to do it for me on this video. My mind's still blown just explaining to you the process of what happened to me. I think you guys should all research all this stuff on your own. Come up with your own opinion. It is very interesting, and that is all I know. I will catch you guys on the next one. Make sure you hit the like button, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on anything, and tell your friends that Kendra's back. Alright guys, so right after I finished recording that video and started the upload, I went back onto my Twitter, and I have another update I'm going to include in the same video. She has pinned and posted, coming soon, a crypto community. I did go in here because I am interested, and it's called the Crypto Cabal, and it says here this community will start tomorrow. I want this to be the best crypto community on Telegram. All members will need to follow a simple set of rules. The plan is to start with a Telegram group and expand to something far more interesting. And I am going to hang out here and see what happens. And on that note, I am out of here. See you guys.